Yo, what's poppin'? You kicking it with the coldest podcast in the land. It's your boy, B. Jones, a.k.a. Bolo, and you know when I'm pulling up to the porch. I can't pull up without my dog.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Big Smitty, a.k.a. D-Nice. And where we at again, Bolo?
Y'all know we in the place to be, so go ahead and tell a friend to tell a friend and grab a drink and pull up, because this is the porch.
Let's get it.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we undefeated. If we link, no it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'ma see it, I'ma stop and watch you lose and get defeated.
Let's go.
What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
Bro, it's the birthday week.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You getting old. Like, you turning what, like, you about 40 this week or what?
See, now I got to hit you with some old wisdom, brother. I'm not getting older. I'm getting better, okay?
Okay.
Letting you know
amen
that.
to that, man. Amen to that.
But
now it is a birthday week, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for you, man. I know you. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to throw all your business out there, but ain't you throwing a little function, right? A little something.
Little function, right? You know, to be disclosed, right? Can't throw out the addy on there, but
right.
We'll have a good time for family. Some friends gonna come down. We're gonna kick it, you know, just good vibes and, you know, bring in the birthday the right way, man.
I love it, man. It's definitely a blessing to just make it, you know, another
year around the sun.
Another year around the sun, man. So, you know, since this is the episode before your birthday, I'm gonna say it right now. Happy birthday, my brother, man. Excited
love,
for you.
brother.
Happy for you.
I appreciate you. And check this out. We got another guest,
another special guest
for this. It's just we're gonna shock the world with this one, because I think the world needs to hear the game that this guest is about to bring to the porch.
Yes, sir. And before we introduce him, we do got to do our special segment of what's in your cup. So, Bolo, let the porch know what is in your cup right now.
If y'all rocking with the porch right now, go ahead and grab your cup. All right, what's in my cup right now? Since we do have a nutritionist on the show, I got to keep it a little healthy. Okay, I do got some Tito's. All right, that's a vodka with some blue Gatorade. Okay, so it's a nice balance. Okay, with some electrolytes. All right, and I got the alcohol to, you know, get me feeling a little good when I need to feel good. You feel me? So, what about you, bro? What you got in your cup?
I like that. I like how you thinking, man. We have nutritionists on board. You wanted to turn up and be a little healthy. I didn't go that route. I should have went that route. I messed up. You know what I mean? I got a little bit of Crown Apple and Sprite. Crown Apple and Sprite in here, man. Sipping on it. Cool, sweet, strong, gets the job done. So that's what I got in my cup right now, man.
That's definitely gonna get the job done, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How about we do our toast in real quick, man? Give us a toast, Bolo. Then we're gonna go from there.
Hey, everybody on the porch, lift your cups up. Hey, so this toast goes out to everybody running your race. Okay, just run your race. Too many times we looking left and right, worried about what somebody else is doing in their lane, instead of just running our race. If you focus on looking straight, you run faster. You never run fast looking backwards or looking left and right. All right, so focus on you, focus on your race. Cheers.
Man, to that, man. Hit the screen. Boom.
Get it.
There we go. All right. Woo. Without further ado, though, like you said, special guest. Been pumped to have him on and excited to introduce him. He's one of the best sports nutritionists in the game right now.
No.
He's a beast. He's a monster. He's most recently helped out the champ, Errol Spence Jr., add another belt to his arsenal. The one and the only Pressley. Welcome to the porch. How you doing?
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, man. How's life for you right now? Before really getting deep into just a full discussion, just in general, how is life for you right now?
Oh man, life is just a movie right now. It's unbelievable. You know, just coming where I came from 7 years ago to now, it's like I tell my friends, I'm like, did I just do that? Like, was that me? You know?
Right.
So it's been wild. It's been great.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm glad, you know, you kind of teased the porch there about your journey, and we're definitely going to dive into that. So, you know, we like to start sort of from the beginning, right? So, like you say, you have a very inspirational story. Take us back to the old version of Anthony Pressley, right? Like, how would you define, you know, your previous version of yourself?
I was very lost. I've always been an athlete, and so I leaned on sports as like my my pat on the back, you know, so to speak.
Right.
And I was kind of like really focused on just being better, and I didn't give a crap what else anybody thought of that, you know. And whereas now I'm more self-aware, and I'm more about giving than I was back then.
I love that. I love that. And I guess my follow-up to that would be, what do you think changed that made you become a more giving person? It sounds like, and we're, you know, me and Bolo, we're former athletes as well. And I completely understand your comment of what you're saying of needing that pat on the back or getting that pat on the back from your sport versus just getting it from within. What changed within you that made you change?
Well, I mean, it was almost like I had this moment where I was working a job that I hated, and I felt like I was smarter than the management, and I felt like I could just do a better job in every aspect, and it was bringing me down. And so I'm like, man, I got to work for myself, and how can I do this? And I was just coming off of a divorce, and I was just like trying to find myself. So I just dug deep, and I'm like, how can you work for yourself, also help people, and also be fulfilled by a pursuit that's like worth pursuing, you know?
Right.
So,
Got you.
Now, kind of talk us through, obviously, you know, now, you know, for me, I think it's like it's a lifestyle change. Like, you have to change the person. And it's so funny when I think about athletes, it's like you're burning so many calories a day, and then you go away from playing this sport or burning so many calories to still consuming so many calories. And then now you just see the weight fluctuate. Right. So like I've been 7 years out. Right. And I just see, like, if I'm not working out every day, if I'm not trying to burn calories and I'm still consuming the same type of greasy food or just food to just pack on pounds, it's like the weight hits different. Like, so for you, I guess, talk to us about just a little bit about that relationship with food, you know, at the beginning before you transition to that new lifestyle.
Right. So I always abused food. Like you said, I was going to practice today, or I was going to lift today, so I could eat whatever I wanted, do whatever I wanted, you know. Oh yeah, I'll have a bag of chips on the way to practice. That's no problem. You know. And then, you know, like you just said, it kind of carried over into like the military, and then you add like alcohol to that, you know, and then, you know what I'm saying? Then it just is like this hill you go up, you're like, oh, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm 40 pounds overweight.
Crazy.
And I feel horrible, you know?
Yeah, and it happens. I feel like it happens so fast too, where like you just can lose control of it within a matter of like months. You can just gain just an extreme amount of weight. It's ridiculous.
It catches you off guard.
But you could, but you can also lose that amount of weight in that same amount of time. So it's a mindset, right? I tell everyone, it's like, you can't lose the weight until you start now. Make small little changes. These small changes turn into humongous changes over time.
Right. It's just kind of that concept of just brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? Just keep one foot in front of the other, focus on the now, and just keep adding those steps until eventually you'll look back and you see how far of a distance you've traveled. So now it's funny you say that, man. I know when I got done playing ball, man, I just eating and lifting. Shoot, me and Bolo, we worked together for a little while, and I know every day during lunch we were going and eating something. We eat burritos, sandwiches, fries, and we just in the car just eating. And I look back at some of my old pictures. I'm like, oh my God, like, why didn't nobody tell me? I didn't even realize that I had got that big. You know what I'm saying? But I look at like pictures now, and I'm like, oh my God, like I just blew up. And it's the same mindset or same thing you said, Bolo, as far as like when you're playing your sport, you can just eat as much as you want to because you're working out so much, it doesn't really affect you that much. And then you get done, you keep eating that same way, and you blow up like a balloon. So it's really crazy. Hey, Preston, tell us, how tough was it like those first few weeks when you decided like, okay, I need to change my life? How tough was it for you to go through that transition of eating healthy and just living a healthier lifestyle?
Well, at that point, I had tried every diet known to man, every diet pill known to man, right? And I started listening and watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and he had talked about things, food and relationship with your mental health, much different than I had ever heard before. So in listening to his methodology to approaching a problem and correcting a problem with yourself, I really learned I was ready. You know what I'm saying? Like I made a choice. I'm like, I'm ready. So the first couple of weeks weren't hard necessarily. It was just like, how do I eat chicken, but like have it taste good and be within my macros? You know what I'm saying? So that was the difficulties, because I had made it up in my mind that I am done doing this. I'm done giving up. I'm done showing my family, my kids how to fail. I'm done. So once I did that, how can you fail? You know?
Right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I had a follow-up comment today. So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, the number one step to you changing this lifestyle, it wasn't even about the physical part, it was the mental part.
Mental, yes. I sincerely believe that a strong mind to approach weight loss is where you start. Yeah, you're gonna start eating healthy or whatever, but you need to start looking inside and figuring out, why are you overeating? There's something wrong. It's not just, you're not just overeating because you're bored. Maybe you're bored and uninspired because you're not dealing with A, B, and C.
Nice.
That's deep.
Now, Pressley, I got a question for you here. So, sometimes people kind of throw out the excuse that they come from like lower socioeconomic environments, right, where they don't have access to healthy foods, or everything that is at their disposal. The disposal is like greasy or just unhealthy. I guess, how does someone maneuver around, just the adversity and like the different types of food that are presented to them in their environment?
Well, one of the greatest things about Arizona is there are a lot of churches that do like $10 pull your truck up, and they'll load your truck up with produce for $10. Yeah, I'm talking like heads of lettuce, tomatoes, like my buddy got like 40 mangoes the other day, right? Yeah, you know how expensive those are?
Right. So I'm about to pull up to Arizona real quick and load up.
Listen, you come out to Arizona, I'll cook for you too, okay?
Oh man. Hey, don't tell me that, Presley. Hold on. Don't tell me that now. We'll change the whole conversation here on the porch.
Right.
I'll take you to that.
We're doing a live podcast, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Seriously. Love it.
So yeah, I mean, like you said, they're just making excuses. Excuses. I mean, do you want to do it? Then you're gonna find a way. Like I read a book. It's called "It Takes What It Takes." Is there anything, you don't need anything else, right? You just have that mindset. It takes what it takes. Do you have to climb up that mountain to see the top, to see the whole valley, throughout Arizona? Yeah, you got to climb that mountain. It's just, it's the same, it takes what it takes.
I love that, Bolo.
I love that.
Because it don't matter what you're doing in life, whatever your goal is.
My little note section.
Yeah, write that down. It takes what it takes. Bro. You know what I mean? And like our coach used to say, and nobody gives a fuck either. So like, it takes what it takes. About your problem. Nobody cares about your problem. So at the end of the day, if you want to do it, this is what it takes. Either you're going to do it or you're not. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
I love it.
It really is. It really is. And like for my weight loss, I didn't exercise the first 100 pounds I lost.
Really?
No exercise.
The first 100?
First 100. Yeah.
So how long did it take you to drop the first 100 without working out?
I think it was like 10 months to a year. I can't really remember. I know the whole weight loss was about 18 to 19 months.
Got you.
To do the whole thing. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Cause and I'll admit, I'm one of the guys as well where, I'm more of the guy. I can work out all day, you know what I'm saying? But it's hard for me to be very disciplined when it comes like to eating. I'll admit that. I have my weeks, my months where I'm on my A game, and then something comes up, a birthday, a holiday, and I make an excuse, right? And then I fall off and I return to those bad habits. And I've always leaned on like, well, if I work out, then I'll be okay. But it's funny that you said this, man, because my wife, she's a nurse, and she's been really educating herself heavily on just, eating right and things like that. And she always says like eating is damn near more than half the battle. Like if you just eat right, you can do the weight loss, you can be healthy, you can be, you know what I'm saying? Like regardless if you work out or not. So now if you add the working out on top of that, now you're in supreme shape.
Right. Well, I would argue that it's 99% diet.
Wow. Gotcha.
Yeah. To be completely honest, because once you start fueling your body correctly, your body's like, hey, bro, let's go. Like,
you feel good.
Remember when we used to run? Remember when we used to like lift weights and stuff?
Yeah.
I've got that energy. You got that pep back,
Absolutely.
So, and that's another thing going through my mental health journey. Because I suffer from like severe depression and anxiety, like panic attacks that stop me in my place, like make me pass out type panic attacks, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And so through that mental health journey, I found like finding purpose and really looking inward while I was eating food really helped me stay on track. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I was figuring it out, right? I was like, oh, okay, I'm figuring this out. And now the food makes me feel great. And now I want to go outside more. I'm more open to talk to people. I started to see a therapist, like I was never like, I'm from Ohio. I'm a corn-fed country kid. And like, you got problems, guess what? Push them down, because nobody wants to hear about your problems. That's how I grew up, right? Like, especially being men, I think that we're supposed to be like, I'm tough. Like, I cry all the time. I remember telling Errol's dad, Pops, I'm like, I just want to let you know, Pops, I get emotional, especially when I get attached to these fighters. And then I see them go out. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get really emotional. And Pops is like, you get emotional, huh? I'm like, that's just who I am. I can't help it,
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to change the narrative that it's okay to cry as a man. Cry is not a sign of weakness. To me, it's a sign of strength. It's a sign of just being a human. You know what I'm saying?
Just being human, right?
Exactly. Now I had a follow-up question to that as well. You mentioned obviously, therapy, eating right. Was there anybody in particular who, whether it's a role model or just someone who really helped you along the way that they got you to this point through your mental journey? Like, is there anybody that you could, I guess, point out that you're like, you know what, without this person or these people, I probably wouldn't be at this point today?
I mean, it sounds like the most bro-ish thing, but Joe Rogan. I'm sincerely so thankful for that man. Like, he saved my life. People throw that around. I'm not that type of guy. I'm serious. I was on the brink of like suicide. I'm not kidding. I just couldn't figure it out. And the VA just kept pumping me full of drugs. And I was lost. And then I started listening to this podcast, and it really opened my eyes to like mental health and like antidepressants versus placebo effect antidepressants, where they did a study on both, where the one that didn't get the actual SSRI had to do some type of exercise. And the study showed that the people that had the fake pill and did exercise were like 50% better off than the people that were taking the SSRI. So I'm like, man, this can't be real. And then you start looking it up and you're like, oh, okay. All I got to do is just go out in the sun for a little while and maybe, walk around my backyard and be in the sun, and that'll help me feel better. That's crazy.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
Wow. So Pressley, I got to ask you, and I want to continue to educate the Porch too, because I think this is an important episode
for sure.
Especially just in our community too. Like, obesity is just like, it's so prevalent. It's so big. We run into it all the time. So from my thought process, right, I think when somebody's dieting or losing weight, it's the idea of, being able to be in a caloric deficit, right? Is that correct? Okay. Yeah. So with that, I guess, what are some of like some of the best like practices? Like, I know people who do keto. I know people who do like so many different things. I know people who do it the wrong way and just fast and don't eat anything, or just fruits and veggies. Like, are there specific ways to do it the right way?
It's a good question.
I mean, I'm just a guy, so like I have opinions. I really truly think that like I did keto for my weight loss. Now, I don't recommend keto for everyone, and I don't even know if I recommend keto in general now. But that's how I did it. I was just new to all this stuff. So I had looked into it, and I'm like, I can eat that diet. And I did. And that's how I lost the weight. But it wasn't until I I noticed I started adding mountain biking into my diet that I had no go. You know what I'm
No
saying?
energy.
I had
Yeah.
no carbs.
Right.
Yeah. I had no go. So I was like, okay, I got to change this. But what I think my approach, to get back to your question, is eat real food. That was my motto through my weight loss, right? Nothing out of a can, nothing out of a jar, nothing out of a box. And if you can, nothing frozen, right?
Okay.
Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
right,
I'm like,
right.
Let me be just so Barney style simple, right? Okay, nothing out of, if I wanted a salad dressing, guess what? Your boy had to figure it out and make a salad dressing. Or, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
If I wanted, like, I would do a cheat, I would make caramel corn, but I had to make it all from scratch, right?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I made it from scratch. I mean, I use real butter. Not that the sugar in there is not great for you, but like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't going out to the store and being tempted to go to the gas station, open up a bag of chips, or you know what I'm saying? So
it's so easy to do that if you don't train that mindset. Because me, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a chip lover, and that's one of the things I have to do better at, for sure. And I have it ebbs and flows with it. But you're so right. It's so easy to just say, you know what, I'm gonna stop by 7-Eleven, get this bag of hot Cheetos, and call it a day.
Just imagine how many things we eat out of a can and out of a box.
I know.
So many things, but I'm just literally rattling off things in my brain that I literally consume on a day-to-day basis that either comes out of a can or a box.
I know.
Or a pack, some type of package. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I would start. Say you're me 7 years ago, right? And I'm listening to this guy talk, right? I would say, hey man, start eating real food. If you want to eat a bunch of potatoes, make them yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get tired of eating all those potatoes, because you're gonna have to like make them, and like prep them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna be like, screw this potato, like I'm done with it, you know. Whereas like going to Wendy's, like my order at Wendy's would shock you when I was 7 years ago.
Y'all, you got to tell me now. You can't tease with that. What's the old school Presley's Wendy's order?
All right, you got pull your pants up, because here we go. I would get the spicy chicken Asiago chicken sandwich.
Ooh, with the bacon on it? Okay, yeah.
With the bacon on it. Oh, it's so good. Large, obviously. And I would obviously get a Diet Coke, because
you're with a Diet Coke.
Watch the sugars, right?
Yeah.
I would get an extra large order of fries.
Got to.
Three junior bacon cheeseburgers, because you got to like have something to eat on the way home, right?
Damn,
you can't, right? You can't just smell that food.
Right.
Eat something on the way there, right?
You can't do that.
No, and then you have to get a chili, because later on you're gonna want to heat that chili up later, right? You got to plan forward. You're gonna be hungry. You're not eating enough right now, right?
Right.
And then I would get 10 chicken nuggets as well.
Now that's what I was waiting for. If you didn't say the chicken nuggets, Press, I was gonna be disappointed. But you added chicken nuggets at the end, so okay. That's a pretty.
Yeah, that was my dinner, and then about an hour and a half later, I was hungry.
Oh my gosh,
man, you was throwing. Listen, and I eat a lot, or I used to really eat a lot.
Sandwich,
but that's a different level.
3 cheeseburgers, some chili, extra fry,
10-piece nugget.
Damn, 10-piece nugget.
Hold on, but a Diet Coke though. But Diet Coke.
With a Diet Coke, just to wash it down.
Yeah,
lots of ice, so I didn't drink too much Diet Coke.
So you're pretty much drinking water. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Health.
It's like we laugh, but it's crazy. Like the comments that we're making, people think like that. It's like, okay, I got a Diet Coke, so I'm healthy. It's like, no, you know what I'm saying? You're really not, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it comes down to just just education. Just sitting down, get on the laptop or talking to a professional, whatever, and just educating yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that leads me to my next question, Presley. What was the process like for you to just learn about this? Did you teach yourself? Did you have a nutritionist early on? How did you get into the flow of this?
I did it all myself. Like, I just read a lot. I would read, like, I really liked Tim Ferriss. He's just, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's all about hacking, like, time management, and because I had poor time management. So I was like, okay, I have poor time management. How do I make that better? Right. So I would read books about him. He would talk about nutrition. again, Rogan's podcast, he would have all these like really big name nutritionists on. That's where I learned about George Lockhart, who I now work for and work with, which is just insane to me. Right. And so I just started learning. Here's what it is. I wanted to eat good food that I loved. So I was like, how do I do that? Let me take all the shit out of those recipes and let me make them healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so like, that's how like I'm known for my my turkey meatballs, right? Because those turkey meatballs got me to be the finalist on the show MasterChef for Arizona. Right. That's how I learned I could cook. I had no idea I could cook. I just thought my friends were like, hey, Press, you want to cook again? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. You know, I just thought they just want to cook.
Right.
And I had no idea. And so like after my divorce, at the gym, they were like, hey man, you should try out for this MasterChef show. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not a reality guy. That's not my thing. Right. And at the last minute, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Yeah. And so I did. And all these chefs were like, where'd you go to culinary school, dude? Where'd you go to culinary school? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What does culinary mean?
Yeah, like you're eating off of a paper plate right now. Like, chill out, dude. So yeah, I just took those recipes that I loved and I took all the shit out of them and then learned how to put back in some healthy stuff. And then I'm like, oh, these actually taste better than, using it out of a box or whatever it may be.
Right, man. See, Bolo, listen, you making me think different about my lifestyle right now.
There's a way.
You know what I'm saying? It's because listen, there's a myth that eating healthy is like it's not tasty, but it's completely false. You can eat healthy, and like you said, 9 times out of 10, it might actually taste better than the unhealthy version. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta take the time to actually prep, learn, and prepare the meal. So now that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, well, I cook for a lot of people, and and they're a little hesitant at first, and I'm like, well, just try my food first, and then tell me you don't like health food. Like when we were after weigh-ins with Errol, we were all at the house, and like everyone's there, all his crew and everybody, and I'm like a Black grandmother. If you haven't eaten, guess what? I go insane. I'm like, you're gonna eat. I'm gonna feed you. Right. You need to eat. So this whole crew's there, and like when I tell you, these guys. Like, first off, I am the only white person in the whole building. But I don't care. I don't even care. I don't care. Right? It doesn't bother me. But they brought me in and treated me like family. It was amazing. I'd be like, hey man, do you think I can get this? They'd be on the phone. Hey, Press needs this, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, oh, I'm not used to that,
Yeah. Right.
But so Champ wanted he wanted some pasta, right? So I make this bison bolognese for him, right? Homemade pasta, all the whole nine, right? And I go off. I go to Dallas and I go to the special cheese area, get this special buffalo mozzarella because it's the Champ, right? You're gonna do extra shit, right?
You got to. And so I gave him this, and everybody in the room is like, "Oh, what do you got there? What do you got there?" And I'm like, "Just wait." And I come in, and I got every single one of them. I got on a bowl, and I give it to one of the guys. I'm not calling him out; he'll know who. But he's like, I hand him the bowl, and he goes, "I don't eat health food." I was like, "Hey, bro, just try it." And then 10 minutes later, it was gone. I'm like, yeah, that health food sucked, right? Right. Hey, if he didn't eat before, he eat it now.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
So before we transition to our next segment, I had to ask you, and I think a lot of people on the porch probably is wondering too, I think one of the biggest challenges I face is having kids and having a wife who probably, not necessarily on the same page as you as far as your diet, right? So for you, I guess, did the family kind of take to the lifestyle change? Did they adjust well to it, or how did that work out in your hands?
It goes back to that thing. It takes what it takes, right? Yeah. So if your family's not going to be on board, well, they're either going to have to cook for themselves, or you're going to have to cook something twice. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to take what it takes. And if that's the case, here's what I recommend: Sunday morning, wake up, prep your whole week with proteins have all the onions cut up, have like anything to like throw a quick salad together, have it all prepped and ready to go. Like on Sundays, what I would do, I would grill chicken, I would grill steak, and then I would slice some, I would chop some like into cubes, and I would leave some whole. Because then I could be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go for a hike. I'm a hillbilly. So I would take some steak and put it in a baggie and then put it in my pocket. I'd have pocket steak at any time, right? So, yeah, you're just walking down the road eating pocket steak, right? So, like, it's all about prep and preparing for what your goals are. You know what I'm saying? That I get a lot of weight loss questions. Just like, how do you get enough protein in the day? Hey, you eat the number that you're supposed to get to, and that's your goal. So you have to do it. Like, I don't understand the question. You know, my mindset is different. You either do it or you don't. Right. You either want it or you don't. Right. So
it's that simple. Nah, I love that, man. And kind of switching, you know, taking a step back here, switching the tone a little bit. I wanted to ask you this earlier. You talked about going through depression, right? At a point in your life. Tell the Porch, what would you define as your lowest point? Like, what was that, like that rock bottom point before you were like, oh, you know what? All right, like this is the last straw. I have no choice but to change my life right now, or I'm not going to make it. What would that point be for you?
Man, I had a couple of them. Because what people don't understand about depression and being mentally ill is rock bottom. There's another lower part to rock bottom. Rock bottom is a little safe. It's safe, right? I went below rock bottom, right? I mean, there was just an amount of events that happened in my life that crushed my soul. And I forgot who I was. And I contemplated suicide a lot more than I'm like comfortable admitting, but I know it's important to talk about that, right? The final straw was my ex-wife and I got divorced, and it was like right in the heart of my weight loss. I had lost like 140 or 150 pounds at this point. So I was like almost close to, you know, my goal. And we got divorced, and all of a sudden 3 days later, I was laying on my bedroom floor in an empty house. And it was like, oh, talk about the weight of the world on you.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do? You don't even have a bed. You have a roof over your head. You don't even have a bed right now. Like, what are you going to do, man? And, you know, and thank God I had mountain biking, because I would get on that bike and I would just think. I get, you know, how that you get in that flow state, and I'd be just jetting down these hills, just thinking about how I'm going to break through this. I had just lost 150 pounds. I can do anything,
right?
You know, so how am I going to do this? And so, you know, being able to cope with things is probably my biggest benefit through mental health. Learning how, when the world hits you with the worst news of your life, you can blow up and tear apart your own life, or you can accept it, understand it, and start to move on, right? And being able to cope with things was a pivotal part in changing my mental health for the better.
Got you, man. Now that's definitely deep, and we appreciate you for
I
even
appreciate that 100%.
Yeah, for just opening up with the Porch. You know, like you said, it's not easy to talk about, but it is necessary and needed, because there's so many people who deal with depression, or who knows, someone could be listening to the episode right now. You know what I mean? It could be in that state,
at that moment,
and just heard you say that, and you know, that could be an inspiration for them. So now we definitely appreciate that, man.
100%.
Yeah, I used to sit on the couch and watch The Biggest Loser and just cry. Like, man, if somebody gave me 6 months, I could do that. If somebody gave me this, that, if somebody gave me, I was waiting for other people to do stuff for me. And it's like, one day I was like, hey, motherfucker, you can do that for yourself. You're allowed to have good things happen to you. You're allowed to have a good life. And I started having that mantra, and I was like, holy shit. And then things started happening for me. And like, I started cooking for a fighter. I got my very first fighter. And I was like, holy crap, I'm cooking for fighters. Right. That's like my goal, because I grew up watching Mike Tyson, you know, come down in the black towel looking like he could murder everyone in the arena. Right.
Right. So
now I love saying I'm in the fight game. You know, it's so cool. You know, it's awesome. So I love these guys. I love these guys and girls, man. I love the dedication and everything, you know.
Got you. Nice. And that's actually the perfect transition, Bolo. I'll let you jump in. That's the perfect transition, I think, to our next segment, though.
Yes, but I had one more question.
Yeah, do your thing.
You can know this. So obviously, you're a key nutritionist. Like, you know, you're providing so many nutritious food for all of these, you know, top tier athletes. Does Pressley have a cheat day?
Ooh,
or a cheat meal?
Bro, yeah, for sure.
Bro, like, why would you ask me that?
Now, how often does that occur? How often are you having that cheat meal? Is it a once a day thing, once a month thing? Like,
I mean, I don't really plan for it. It's kind of like one day I'm like, man, I haven't ate any bullshit lately. Let's see what we can get into, you know? Like,
let's go to Wendy's.
Barbecue. Yeah, let's go. No, I don't do any of that. No, but let's go to like, we got some good barbecue out here. Not like as good as Texas, where I just came from, but like, got some good barbecue, get some mac and cheese. Like, ooh. Yeah, I love that stuff. I love sweets too.
Oh, man. I like that.
I like
some red velvet cake, some lemon cakes, and some
cookies or some ice cream.
Don't talk dirty to me. Don't talk dirty.
Hey, speaking of cookies, real quick, I don't want to go completely out. Whole Food got the best. It's the brown butter chocolate chip cookies. If there's ever a cheat day, if you guys haven't had it, go to Whole Foods. It comes like a 4-pack, I believe. Big ass chocolate chip brown butter cookies.
He says, I believe, like he doesn't know it comes in a 4-pack.
I think so. I suppose, right? But no, for real, it's the best cookies I've ever had in my life, man. So try them out on your next cheat day.
Okay, I will.
But yeah, man. So yeah, transitioning to, you know, your career now, as you mentioned, you know, you train fighters. I think that's dope. You know, me and Bolo, we're both fight fans, boxing fans, the whole nine. Explain to us, how did you get that first opportunity? Because I just think it's amazing. Like you said, your journey, hearing where you came from, like how the hell do you go from that point A to now point B, and you're training professional fighters?
Right. So like that whole MasterChef thing really like was like, I would love, like, my hero is Anthony Bourdain, and I love the way he would like talk about food. He made me love food. Right. So I was like, how could I cook for people? And after that MasterChef, I was at the gym and I was working out with this guy. And I was like, man, I'm Arizona's finalist for MasterChef. And he's like, bro, you don't even know how to cook. What are you talking about? Like he didn't believe me. Right. And then finally he believed me. And he's like, you know, my chef just quit. We need a guy. He's like, I'll pay you X amount of money if you will do it. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I did. And then 3 months later, I've got like 10 people I'm cooking for. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm really getting the chops, like getting the recipes down and getting the workflow down. So I just start one night DMing every fighter in my area.
I love it. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Pressley. I got some food. I would love to work with you. This is what I do. Yada, yada, yada. One fighter, Shane Crutchin. He's I think he was fighting 55. He might have been fighting 45. I can't remember. He fights for Bellator. He's a Purple Heart recipient, like a Marine. He's just like a really good guy. He hit me and he's like, hey, I'm coming in to town for camp. I need a guy. And so I was like, hey, Shane, this is all I want you to do. I'll give you half your camp for free, but I want you to eat the meals at the gym. That's all I ask. Just eat the meals at the gym, at least one of them, you know, a day. He's like, all right, I can do that. And then all of a sudden, my boy, my really close friend now, Dan, the hitman Moret, was like, hey, where'd you get that food? Dan at the time was in the UFC. Right. And I'm like, holy smokes, I'm cooking for a UFC fighter. I don't even need to freaking do anything else. right? This is amazing.
Right.
I'm good to go. Yeah, I made it. In my eyes, I made it.
Right.
And so I'm all about respect, right? And so I didn't want to be like, hey, can you tell all the guys about my food? I was like, I want my food to be so good that they tell them about my food.
Yeah.
Right. So that's exactly what happened. Dan was like, ate my food. He's like, bro, this food is so good. He's like, do you mind if I tell the people at the gym? I'm like, oh, casually, like, oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess so.
I want you to do that. Yeah, I guess. I tried to play it off. Yeah. But then all of a sudden it was like bang, 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 all these fighters. And then I had like 20 different fighters I was cooking for. It was amazing. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And so I would go. Fight Ready is out here, right? Which is Cejudo's gym in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And one day I was like, I'm all about marketing and figuring out how to like, where's my place? Where can I put this food? And so I was like, I'm going to come into Fight Ready at the end of practice with a bag full of free food, right? My label's all over it, my numbers on it, everything, right? And so I tell Dan orchestrates, like all the fighters come over to me. I get to meet all the fighters at Fight Ready. I'm like shitting my pants. Like, hey, guy, oh yeah, I watched you last week. Oh shit, because I'm like a true fan of this stuff.
Right.
And one of the coaches, Captain Eric, that's Henry Cejudo's coach, came over to me and he was like, man, these turkey burgers are really good. I make a jalapeno popper turkey burger. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Presley.
Yeah, I know. My mouth's watering just thinking about it. But
amazing.
So I gave him one and he started eating it. And
I bet he did.
Man, he's like, this is good. This is good. He's like, let me get your number. I'm like, okay. So then like a week later, I get a picture. It's from Captain Eric, and it's him and Davidson Figueroa, which is the UFC champion, right? 125er. And he's like, hey, Pressley, the God of War needs your food for the next camp.
Ooh.
And I about shit my pants because I'm like, holy crap, I'm going into my first champ camp. That's like, holy shit, this is unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? It was unbelievable. And then before you know it, I'm on the Brazilian news and I'm doing interviews I don't even know what they were asking me half the time. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like a whirlwind. And there was like a flip in like December of last year or the year before where I would walk into Fight Ready and people would be like, what's up, Press? Like Cejudo would be like, hey, Press, what's up? I'm like, how do you know me? Like, how do you know my name? Like,
right.
It's so I have a really funny Cejudo story.
Let it hear.
So Captain Eric texts me, we want you to come in to the camp to do everything. And I'm going to meet you at Henry's house. And I'm like, I'm going to Henry Cejudo's house. Okay, cool, casual. So I get there and I'm walking in and Captain Eric has a big personality, right? And we walk in and we walk right through the door and Captain Eric goes, fuck that guy. And then he proceeds to start fighting a guy. I don't know what it is. He's forgot that I'm here and I haven't met anyone, right?
Right.
So I'm standing in the foyer of Cejudo's house and I look to the right. There's his UFC belts, his Olympic gold medal. I'm like, holy shit. And I see Cejudo poke his head around and he's like, kind of like, who the hell are you? And I'm like, I'm the food guy. And he's like, oh, come on in. So I was like terrified to meet Cejudo, right? And I'm just in the back like, because I'm like a very like shy type of person until you meet me, like until I get to know you a little bit.
Right.
But so I was like crapping my pants the whole time. And then Figueroa and everybody, and they got haircuts. And it was a surreal moment, you know? It was wild.
It's cool. But, that's so dope, man. I love hearing stories like that, Bolo, because it's true inspiration. You know, like I said, regardless of whatever profession you're in or whatever field you're in, like you said, you know what? I'm going to just DM every single fighter. Self-made. I'm going to DM every fighter I know, and I'm going to just see what happens. And all it took was one fighter, shout out to Shane, one fighter to respond, and then that just trickled down to everything, domino effect. And it's just boom, 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 boom. And now you're this big time, nutritionist, big time chef with this long list of fighters, man. I just think it's such an inspiration. I'm feeling juiced up just listen to you talk.
And it's full circle. It's full circle too. Like I just appreciate just kind of the full circle moment. Like, do you think you would have got to that point had you not like went on that diet and like got to that point?
Nah, I'm a firm believer that everything that happens to you is happening to you for a reason.
Bingo.
Right.
Absolutely.
And like all that hardship I went through, guess what? There's nothing I can't go through and get through now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I put so many like pieces of metal on my armor through all that hardship that I'm like, oh yeah, that isn't going to affect me, you know?
Right. Just bouncing straight up. Straight up. Yeah. I love it.
That's expired on the porch.
Hey, you do, man. I'm ready to. I'm ready to go do something. Do 10 push-ups. Do something right now.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that caught my attention that you said, Press, was you at any given time you're cooking for like 10 plus fighters. How in the world are you, I guess, finding the time to just organize? Because each fighter has their own diet. Some people are gaining weight, some people are losing weight. Like it's so many different varieties. What's your game plan of just how do you schedule all that out and just stay focused in attention to detail?
It takes what it takes.
It takes what it takes. I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah, it takes what it takes. Yeah, I mean, people are like, I would get some DMs, and they mean well. These people mean well, but they would be like, "Man, you're so lucky." And I'm like, listen, I've been working 7 days a week for 4 years, right? Like, grinding. I had a dream. I hate when people say, "Oh, I've been grinded." Like, but listen, I've been grinded.
You've been.
I'm living this. Look, he like, I've been grinding.
He said, I don't like you saying it, but I've been doing.
I'm living it right now.
Your boy's tired.
I already know, man. But hey, like you said, it takes what it takes. So hey, you got to figure it out. I love that.
It applies to everything, though. Like
I might get that tatted on my chest. It takes what it takes.
What it takes.
Underscore it.
Yeah.
No excuses, no nothing.
No. Well, if you give yourself a way to get out, you'll get out.
Yep.
Right. Don't give yourself an out.
Yep.
Right. Accept it. On the other, this corny. I hate these corny statements, but they're so true. Like on the other side of fear is everything you want, and it's so true. Like you just push through, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're walking with Errol Spence in front of like 60,000 people.
Shit is crazy.
Dude,
walk us through that, Press. Now, since you brought it up, man, because I'm a big Errol Spence fan. You know what I'm saying? Working at Fox Sports, he's been on the show. Speak for Yourself that I work on before. It's been a couple years, but he's been on the show. Big Errol Spence fan. Just describe just working with him, being in his camp, and then obviously the day of that he demolished Ugas in that ring. Just walk through that whole. I want to hear every detail.
Okay. So he's very quiet, right? And he's very reserved. And I have a big personality, but I also know my place.
Right.
So if you don't want me to be funny and whatever, I'll zip. You won't even hear from me. I'll be quiet as a mouse. So the first couple of days, it was a little like he was kind of
right.
But the first meal I gave him, he was like, he ate it and he was like, oh, he was like, that was really good. And if you remember in the episode 2 of the Showtime doc, he was like, can I get some of that special sauce? And I was like, special sauce coming up. So I make this coconut Thai green curry sauce.
Ooh.
Listen, I'll put it on a dirty sock. Eat the sock. That's just how good it is. You know what I'm saying?
It makes everything better.
Like he put it on everything because it was relatively low calorie, big bold flavors. So I hit him with that sauce and some red snapper at first. I like put my hook in him, right? The Pressley charm is coming, right?
Yeah.
And so just over the few days, he was just feeling me out and asking me questions about the weight loss and who I am and kids and family, because I'm spending all day with him. Right. Like imagine that, like this crazy hillbilly white dude from Ohio is just in my house cooking me, talking about hunting and, random things.
Right.
Like you know, it's just we're two clash of like cultures, you know?
Right.
But after like the first week, I got him laughing a little bit, you know, he was tense, but he's so focused and you wouldn't know he's like tense, you know, but he's the work ethic of this man.
It's crazy, ain't it?
Is, oh my God, dude. Like we would have a schedule and he would run in the morning. Sometimes we'd have a late feed, like at 11 o'clock or 11:30 at night. And he texted me, he's like, I'm all done for the night, so come on over, whatever. And they had me staying in Dallas, which Dallas is so dope, by the way. And so by the time I get to his house, he lives way out in the country. He's got the man down ranch, horses, cows, chickens.
I saw that
dogs.
on the pay-per-view. He has a big ass ranch. It's crazy.
It's 60 acres. 60 acres, right?
Hey,
I love it. I kept telling him, this is the dream, brother. This is the dream. But anyway, so I show up to his house. It's pitch dark out, right? And the way I pull into his back driveway, I could just see this little window, his garage door window, and I could see the light on, and I see his head bouncing because he's running. He's not supposed to be running. He's done running for the day. He's in there running. And I'm like, I just wanted to like rip my shirt off and set myself on fire. I was just like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. Like just the work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like It was unbelievable. I even told his right-hand man, Jordan, I was like, dude, I saw that. I even went in there. I was cutting faster. I was just like chopping everything fast. I was throwing stuff, I was doing all this shit.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
So, and then the coolest text I got, it was like day 4. He texts me. First off, Errol Spence is texting me.
You know what I mean?
Let's just get that out of the way. Right? I put his name in the phone. I'm like, should I put him under a code name? Because this is like,
Right.
And so Errol texts me, hey man, today's sparring day. You should come. I was like, oh, for sure come. So I show up to this gym, and his gym looks, smells, feels exactly how you want a boxing gym to look, smell, and feel.
Yeah.
You go in there and it's like, it's got some edge. It's like those old school weight rooms that you can just smell the sweat, and you just like, like somebody's probably been murdered here. Like there's like there's a real story in here, right?
Yeah.
And I get it.
Hey, he said there's a real story in here. That's
And so I show up, and I'm one of 5 people watching sparring.
That's crazy.
And guess what? Errol doesn't spar 140-pound men. He spars heavyweights.
Stop playing, Press.
Damn.
No, heavyweights.
That's crazy.
And so, because I was asking him, I'm like, hey man, aren't you worried about, he's like, if I bring guys in lighter, they can't handle my power. And so I just go through training partners. And I'm like, that scares the life out of me. Thinking about how hard he can punch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And so I'm in there watching him, and he gets a new sparring partner every 8 rounds. So he'll do 16 rounds. 16 rounds. Every 8 rounds is a fresh partner, or sometimes every 6 rounds there'll be a fresh partner, right? And like and they are fighting. They're not
They're playing around.
They are. They're fighting. And so I remember being in that sweaty room, just sweating my ass off, because it's like he likes it real hot. And I'm just like, this is the most amazing like time of my life. I can't even wait to share this story someday, But and then I really got a feel of like food he liked. And so he really liked, I made him like this stir fry. And I remember giving it to him, and I'm like, I heard you like stir fry, because thank God his buddy Jordan is like his right-hand man. Like they've been boys forever. He couldn't be a nicer person. P, he called me P. Hey P, anything you need, let me know, P. And he'd be like, hey, the champ really likes red snapper. Or hey, the champ really likes this or that. He would give me little clues.
Right.
And so then I started making stuff, and I gave him this chicken stir fry, and he literally pushed it away. He's like, bro, that's the best stir fry I've ever eaten. Like he had said that multiple times to me about my food that I had just been eating since my weight loss. Right. It wasn't anything different to me. And so it was, I'd cook those recipes I could cook them with my eyes closed, you know?
Right.
So it was really cool to see him start trusting me, you know, because I had him drinking water. The guy doesn't take one supplement. I don't know if he wants me to share that. He's never taken a supplement. He doesn't drink a lot of water. He doesn't he's just a specimen. He is he's just got it. Right. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't need all the extra help from supplements and this and that. He's just a hard worker and he's relentless, you know? So it was cool to see him accept the water. He's like, man, I've never drank this much water before. He's like, I feel great. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you know, that's the goal.
That's
you know?
the goal for it.
Right. You know, man. And then partly through, I'm so thankful for just, my motto is be thankful for anything, expect nothing. Expect nothing and be thankful for everything. Right. So me even being there, I'm like, I got to get him a gift. How many people get Errol Spence a gift? Because, you know, he is who he is. He could buy whatever he wants. Right. Right. So I went and got a K-bar, which is a military knife that the Marines carry. And it's just he's got a ranch now. He needs to have a knife. He needs to have a good knife.
Right.
But I got him this knife and I inscribed the truth on the blade.
Ooh, that's tough. I like that.
So I gave him the knife. I said, hey man, I just want to thank you for just bringing me here. This is amazing. I'm so thankful. Thank you. And I'm like, I got you this. This is kind of like a military gift that we do. And he opened it up and he was like, whoa, he's like, this is so hard. And I'm like, take it out and look at the knife. He took it out and he was like, oh, he just was so taken back. He's like, man, this thing is so hard. He loved it, you know? Yeah, so it's so now he has a knife that hopefully I'll see him, you know, because I told him, quit wearing basketball shorts and rubber boots on your farm. I'm like, Errol, you gotta wear jeans. You got to have a belt with the knife. You know, you can't put it on your basketball shorts, you know, just playing with him, you know?
Yeah, of course. But, I love that, man. That's dope, man. I can only imagine just being in your profession, you know what I'm saying, getting that opportunity and then getting that validation that, man, this food is delicious or this water is whatever you gave him, he was accepting it. This is the best food I've ever had in my life. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that, Bolo, me and you, we get some media mogul on here and they're like, this is the best podcast I've ever been on. Just that feeling of validation when you put in so many hours of hard work, so many countless nights you've cried over this, you know, whatever. Yeah. And to get that validation from someone of that caliber, the champion, I know it had to be a crazy feeling.
It was outrageous. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Truly unbelievable. You know, fight day, nobody was allowed in the house except for me. It was just me and Errol all day, fight day. You know, and he probably doesn't care, but he sat in a dark room. Very cold in the room. He wanted it very cold. And he just watched his favorite movies. I would text him. I'm like, hey, your food's ready. You want me to bring it in? Do you want to come up here? Some of the meals he ate out with me. And I kind of just kept the conversation very light. You know, I could tell he was going over stuff. And I just didn't want to be in the way, you know, right. And I would just give him, before he left, finish that meal, I go, okay, the rundown in 2 hours, we got to eat again. Okay, it's going to consist of this, this, and this. Is that okay? He'd be like, yeah. That way I didn't have to bother him again, you know, let him be in the zone. Because when I first came on, I told him, I said, hey, I don't want anything from you. I don't want social media. I could care less.
Right.
I don't care if you shout me out. I don't care. I don't care if I see anything in Dallas. I'm here to do a job and I'm going to do it well. I'm going to do it 100%. And I think from that moment on, he was kind of like, oh, okay, this guy's a psycho, and B, he's in my camp, right?
Right.
Because I get really obsessive over this stuff.
Right.
So yeah, it was wild.
So the night of the fight, I guess, shed some more light on the food plan. I guess how many times does the champ eat before? Because usually the fights are later in the day, right? So how many meals are being prepared before that fight?
Well, the key is we need to know when he's going to step in the ring, what time around approximately. And you want to eat about 3.5, 4 hours prior to that, right in that window, because you don't want food in your stomach and you don't want it digesting while you're because when the food digesting takes away from your performance because it's working on digesting food. We want your body going, we're fighting. Every part of me is fighting,
Right.
And so he loves salads. So I would do like a big salad. Like I make a homemade, I call it open on Sundays sauce. It's a Chick-fil-A sauce that I make.
Man, Press.
He going crazy with the sauces.
I love sauces.
I'm a sauce guy.
Hell yeah, me too.
Man.
I'm about to come over.
So this Chick-fil-A sauce, it's called Open on Sunday. It's going to be available soon. I gave him this. He loves Chick-fil-A. So I took some herbs and I herb crusted some chicken. So it kind of tasted like a little bit like fried chicken, right?
Yeah.
And then I put that sauce on top of the salad and then a side of this. He liked cilantro lime rice.
Yeah.
And he was just eating like a king. Like, I mean, the guy would be smiling while he was eating. He's like, man, this is crazy. Like he's just eating it, He's like, the coolest thing is like, I'd give him the food and I turn around and I turn back around and he was like secretly taking pictures of it. Then you like look at me like he didn't want me to see it taking pictures.
y'all both looking at each other like this and no one saying anything.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang, no wonder he beat his ass that night. You was throwing down for him.
It was fuel.
Yeah,
and the special sauce.
Yeah, that rehydration, that was really key for him too. After the cut, I have these special shakes that it's all a big math problem on what I need to put in these shakes. And he immediately, when we got on the bus, his face had already filled back out. He was smiling, joking. He was singing, playing with his kids. Just from those 3 shakes, he hadn't even eaten yet. And then when we got back to the house, I threw down for him again. And, but yeah, it was wild. I didn't know that I was making the walk. I didn't know that I was going in the locker room. I didn't know any of this. None of it. So I got this wristband, right? And we're in the Sprinter van, like we're Lady Gaga, like drive down underneath, and then we're back, and then we're in the Dallas Cowboys locker room. I'm like, what the hell? I'm in the locker room trying not to shit my pants, right? And then we're all getting ready, and Errol's getting ready, and he's getting his hands taped, and I'm kind of looking at everybody else, and it's only us with the purple bracelet on. And I'm like, I'm not trying to assume anything. But then like Showtime comes in, the guy with the freaking, looks like Janet Jackson, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, 15 minutes, Errol, 15 minutes. And I'm like, do I go to my seat now, or how does this all work? I'm just going to kind of whatever. So we get in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And we're in the tunnel. And I'm like, I'm walking. I'm walking. In my head, I'm like, oh. And you can see in one of the videos, I just start jumping. I don't know why. I don't jump. I'm so not a jumper, right? I just start jumping. And I'm like, oh my God, it's all hitting me, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he comes out to Big Tuck, and nobody knew he was coming out to Big Tuck, Southside the Realist, which everybody knows this song.
The whole stadium knew it.
Bro, as soon as that beat dropped, and he just went right into it. Oh, bro.
Oh, my eyes getting watery right now.
Bro. I can't even describe it.
Damn.
I'm literally crying
right now. This shit is crazy.
Because I was watching it, but now hearing like the actual live, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And like Yellow Beezy is like
that's
shaking me and stuff, right? And like I didn't know who Yellow Beezy was, and I had him laughing so hard the night before because I was making fun of a couple of Errol's crew guys that are in his little crew. And Yellow Beezy was just dying. I had no idea who he was. And I'm like, oh, okay,
that's
cool. Yellow
me,
Beezy.
Baby.
Yellow Beezy.
Yeah. He's dope. He's a really cool guy. He's a really cool
Yellow
guy.
Beezy, yeah.
But so like we start walking out, and you can't even imagine. You can feel the sound. reverberating off of you, and people are going crazy, and they're just trying to touch you because you are part of him.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to touch you, and they're, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you're just walking through, and I'm like, 7 years ago, I was 400 pounds.
Talk to him. Shit is crazy, man.
Come on, man. You better come on, man. I'm about to start crying on the porch right now, for real.
Hey, bro, this might be the best testimony on the porch, bro.
Seriously.
This may be the best testimony we done had since the porch been going, bro. And we talked to a lot of people. And they shared a lot of success stories, bro. But this may be one of the best testimonies we done had.
I'm over here locked in. Like it's almost like we're not even hosting. I'm really
I'm like this. Like I'm like he in a tunnel. Like I'm feeling what he feeling.
Yeah.
Like I'm envisioning what he talking about.
Man. And then like we get to the side of the ring, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm at the ring. I don't know what to do. So I go around and I'm sitting front row, and I look back, or Pops looks back, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, you're supposed to be right here. I'm like, I am? Oh, shit. He's like, well, you can't do it. Like the security guard wouldn't let me jump over. He's like, if you jump over, everyone's going to jump over.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Right. So then at the end of the fight, he shouts me out. Right. Yep. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I did. I was watching. I remember he said that. Yep. How did that feel? Explain that moment to me, man. Take your time, man.
Hell of a story. This shit is crazy, man.
All of my hard work. I saw all of my hard work in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And like, what was weird is like, we had Showtime with us the whole time, and I became friends with those guys. And Nick is like the director, the showrunner of like what, the little series. Errol said all that stuff to me, and like everybody behind me is like grabbing me, like they were so hyped for me.
Embracing you.
They didn't know me. This is just Errol's family that knew that I had his best intentions in mind. They just loved me, right? And they were like, he's talking about you, shaking me. And I'm like, I don't even know what to feel. And I look over, and Nick from Showtime knew my whole weight loss story.
Yeah.
Knew everything about me. He just looks at me. He looked at me, and we locked eyes in this chaos of like Errol just winning, and he just smiled, and I don't know if he remembers that moment, but that was a moment that I'll never forget, because he knew at that moment what nobody else knew. I was just the guy that made the food,
Right.
Congrats. But it's like, if people knew what it took to get to that moment, they would, when I tell people I've lost 180 pounds, they look at me like I've got like a finger growing out of my head. Like they just can't even fathom,
Right.
And so I remember looking at Nick, and Nick looked at me and he smiled. And then the Earl's photographer took a picture of me, and they leave the ring, and I'm like, I got to get back in the locker room. All my shit's in the locker room. So I showed the wristband, and the security guard at first was like, yeah, right, you're not. And then luckily Errol's sister was like, that's a chef. Let him the fuck in. Yeah. I was like, okay. And he opens it, and I run up to the ramp, and Errol turns around it's like a freaking 80s montage movie. I'm like running up the thing, and Errol turns around, and I'm like, you did it, bro. You did it. And we did like a handshake, and we did a hug. Yeah. He's like, yeah, baby, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. I can't believe I was a part of this. Damn. I can't believe, right? So then it doesn't stop there. We start walking to the back. Oh, bro. Oh, shit. I'm about to like blow your mind. My childhood was made about 5 minutes after that moment.
Oh, shoot. Come on, let us know. I'm tuned in.
We're walking in the back, the Charlo brothers are coming up, and
Yeah.
Errol like turns around and hands me the belts, you know. So I've got all the belts, right? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, holy shit. And I'm standing in there with all the belts, and I'm like still shocked, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, I get like tackled from behind. I turn around and it's Michael Irvin.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, he's like, that's a bad man. And he's like, you're the chef. He's like, you had my boy looking that good. Holy shit, that's amazing. He was just like shaking me and like so sweaty. Right?
I know.
So I took 2 waters. I gave him 2 waters. He literally pops the cap and goes, drinks them that fast. I'm like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, Micah Parsons is in there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
Yellow Beezy. Everybody's in the back. It's just like unbelievable. And I'm just carrying around these belts. I have all 3 belts.
That's
I go to the
hard.
press conference. I'm standing next to Errol holding the belts. I'm like, Errol didn't know me a month ago, and now he trusts me so much
Got
to
the
like
belts.
hold his belt. Like, and then he like, and then that night, his photographer got all of our emails and had a Dropbox for all the pictures for the night, right? And I hadn't seen it, and I got tagged on Instagram. And it was Errol tagged a picture of me holding all the belts, smiling like I've never smiled in my life.
Yeah.
And he tagged me, and he wrote, my guy.
That's it. That's hard.
Shout out to Errol Spence, man. You a real one. If you listen to the
Real
Porch
one,
right
for real.
now, you a real one, man. I love Errol, man.
Love that story, man.
All the
Listen,
success
Errol-
he has, he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But he did it because he's a
love.
real guy. He cares about you, and you really impacted him in that fight.
Yeah.
Big part.
Man, kudos
Damn.
to you, man. That
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It truly is, you know. And on my way to the airport, his buddy Jordan was taking me to the airport when I was leaving, and he got on the phone and he was like, let me talk to Pressley. And he was just like, hey man, I really, really thank you.
man.
Damn.
I'll take your time, man.
It means everything, you know. He just thanked me.
Absolutely.
He's like, I never felt so good. I mean, I never had to, we didn't have to go to the sauna and sit in the sauna or nothing. He was just like, you know, I can't wait to work with you again. And that's everything.
Damn.
You know,
Man. That's really such an amazing story, man. Like
just from start to finish, man. Like I'm just blown away. Like I appreciate you sharing this like so much on the porch, like from A to Z, like just your story from all the way to what just happened, you know, a few weekends ago. Is like, it's amazing, man. Like it is very inspirational.
You know what's even crazier is I'm from a town of 1,400 people. I had like
wild.
30 something kids in my graduating class, right? There was 50 times more people in that stadium than in my town. Like, I'm from such a small town. Like, I just kept thinking like, bro, you're not supposed to be here. And then towards the end of the camp, I was like, I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
This is me. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Right. There was no more doubts towards the end, you know, because Errol was losing the weight. He felt strong. I mean, his coaches were, man, he looked really good today. He's like, what's his weight? They tell him the weight, and he's like, geez, he's got a lot of energy. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do, you know, being a part of Lockhart and Leith, right?
Yeah.
You know, George Lockhart, he was the one that called me and said, hey, I got a great opportunity for you. And when it came about, I couldn't think of a better person to do it than you. And I was just like, George Lockhart, like he is like my mentor, like the guy I look up to, the guy I took his class and spent, you know, like 4 or 5 days with him in Vegas and learned, just picked his brain, learned everything I could, and became pretty close. And it's just weird how you build these relationships, and if you don't have any expectations, they'll come around sometimes to benefit you in ways you had no idea were available, just like this weight loss. It's like, I had no idea that this would create doors that I never knew existed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'm from the medical side of things. I didn't cook for people, I was in the music industry. I didn't cook for people, like none of that stuff, so it's just been a wild freaking ride. Sometimes when I lay in bed, I'm just like, what the hell, man? This is amazing.
Life is crazy, man. It just goes to show you that you got to take that leap of faith sometimes, and you got to go with what's on your heart. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, man, it's like we're fighting that thing that we know we're meant to be, or we're supposed to be. Is and it's because of fear. You mentioned that earlier. It's fear of failure. It's fear of, what if I'm not enough? What if they don't like me? What if something? Instead of just going in with the mindset of like, there's another side to that too, right? What if I'm amazing at this? What if they love me? What if I'm the best at this? And instead of focusing on that, we focus on the negative. Too many times people miss out on what I like to call their blessings. And I just think, man, you're someone who just, throughout all the adversity, throughout all the trials and tribulations, you didn't accept no. You didn't say no for an answer. You kept going. You kept going. You found the way, man. So now this has been one of my favorite episodes. Hands down. One of my favorite episodes we had this time. So we appreciate you being vulnerable. Now, before we end this out, we do want to give you the chance to just shout out, where people can find you, your business, any website, IG page, whatever. This is your time to kind of let the Porch family know where they can contact you at.
So I'm most active on Instagram, which is Food and the Fighters. On Instagram, Food and the Fighters. And I actually have a documentary. It's already done. It's just being edited about my whole journey. What's wild is when I started filming that documentary, I was telling the director, I said, I feel like a volcano and it's rumbling and I'm about to explode. I don't know why, but I just have this feeling, right? While we were filming this, and I got the call when we were filming that I was doing Errol Spence.
Come on, man. Come on now.
Yeah. And so I'm like,
crazy.
So I'm going to Errol Spence. I'm going to Dallas. And like, it's all on camera. I'm like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I have this documentary coming out. It's just basically like to show you, like, I'm not anyone special. I am not like a God-gifted athlete. I am not anything like that. I am a normal dude with problems and flaws, but I have a relentless need to better myself, right? So that's what this documentary is about, just my journey, why I got fat, my journey with alcohol and pills and addiction and all that, and then, to where I am now. But I have a cooking show coming out. Also, it's called Food and the Fighters. And what I do is, since I know all these fighters, what I do is I bring them in and I cook them their favorite childhood meal.
That's dope.
And I try to recreate it. And then we talk about it, like, oh, your grandmother used to make this. Why did she make? Oh, she made it for Christmas. Just like, I want to show the side of fighters that I see.
It's gonna be a lot of chicken nuggets and French fries on that show.
Oh my god!
Well, I'll have to get good at that then. But so I got that show coming out too. But I can't mention who I'm going to work with. But I'm heading to London, England at the end of May for 2 months.
Ooh, raise his eyebrows. Okay.
Listen, if you have me on again, you need to watch how you talk to me next time. Okay?
Hey, let him know. Let him know.
Listen, when I get back, you're gonna talk to me a certain type of way.
We got you. We definitely are.
I love it.
We love it, man.
But man. Yeah, and I just started a fight camp with Little Monster. She's a 115 pounder. She's a beast in the UFC. I just started her camp. But yeah, my main mission and goal is to combat childhood obesity. Because if we could teach our children how to eat healthy, like it's create great healthy habits when they're young. And then they carry them over into adulthood,
100%.
So, and me and Errol would talk about that a lot too. Just like that's what I want to do, because I would see all these little kids that are just overweight and they don't realize what they're doing to their bodies, So
right.
Love it, man.
Well,
thank you so much, man. Thank you, man. I know we can't say it enough, Bolo. Man, this is amazing.
We appreciate you for pulling up on the porch. And for the people out here listening, hopefully you guys took away a lot of gems from this awesome conversation we had from Press here. The biggest thing that I want you guys to understand is you can do anything in this world if you work hard. You know what I'm saying? It takes what it takes, and understanding that adversity will not beat you down, but it will build you up and make you a better person. All right. So listen to this story, catch this game. It's your boy B Jones, aka Bolo. I'm rocking with my boy D now. We got the coldest nutritionist in the country. All right. In the country. You know what I mean? So make sure you like, share, subscribe, Porch Podcast _. And remember all the time, the best you is the best you. And we out. Peace.
Big talk. Oh man, it's a wrap.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we undefeated. If we link, no it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'ma see it, I'ma stop and watch you lose and get defeated.
Presented by Bet Online.